Welcome to the Killshot MMA podcast from DFS Army. I'm Sniper Monk on a trip to Illinois watching his son play some flag football. So filling in is the leader, the commander, the OG, as they say, the fantasy football geek for UFC 318 Holloway versus Poirier 3. Going to break down all, I think it's 14 fights on this card, talk some DraftKings strategy, have some, hopefully some fun. I mean, we haven't heard a Geek impression in months, so welcome back, Geek. What you got for us? You looking forward to this trilogy fight?
Yeah, I mean, anytime Dustin's fighting and anytime Max is fighting, it's a good time. This is going to be an awesome fight.
It's the last time Dustin's going to be fighting. This is the retirement off into the sunset fight.
Yeah, Holloway's not that far behind either, though. They're both in that window of how many more fights are we going to get from these guys? Like, what does Holloway still have to prove? Like, the dude has been awesome. Dustin's been awesome. So I love this fight. I think they're going to give it their all. I don't think this is one of those Aldo, I couldn't get my heart in it anymore things at all. I think Dustin's coming in to win. Max is, they're going all in on this thing. Yes.
By the way, live streaming over on YouTube and X on my channel on X. Sniper wins. So I got some comments coming in. Tattoo or boy wants to the breakdown for the lingerie championship. You know, that is when Sun Tzu is on. Those are the Vaseline championships. Sun Tzu is not on. Shout out to Sun Tzu. But you know what? I can't even say that.
Gotta get Sun Tzu on another one of these. Like, where? We got to get him on the show. On this,
I'm sure he'll jump in. The problem is we're doing these Tuesdays because if you're not first, you're last. No echo chamber here. And I don't think Sun Tzu's always ready by Tuesdays, but I'm sure enough heads up he will jump in.
Tuesday is early in the week, no doubt.
So for anybody watching, we'll do the promo off the top. First of all, I have to victory lap a couple underdog wins last week all over Walter Walker, who smashes the fucking slate. I think me and Monk were screaming to anybody who would listen, why is this price? This doesn't make sense. We had another dog hit, and I think I had 3 big dog plays. 2 of them hit, and the one that didn't was Landwehr, who went all crazy and get knocked out in the 3rd round because he's a psycho. So we will take that. So if you want more analysis, more breakdowns, Domination Station is an optimizer to build all your MMA lineups, notes, Discord talk, which the Discord on Saturday night is the MMA channel is something to be reckoned with. That is a wild but fun place. You want to join in all that, link down in the description, in my bios everywhere. Use the code SNIPER, get yourself 10% off at DFS Army. More importantly, join us in the Discord. Get in on that winning. I mentioned that a few times throughout. Make sure you follow me, Sniper Wins. Geek's got plenty of followers, but you follow him at FFootballGeek, I believe, on the X Machine and other places. But more importantly for him, just if you're not subscribed to DFS Army on YouTube, you should go and do that. All right, let's pull things up here. We got plenty of fights on this card. It's the canceled fights, which they typically run through quick. Neil Magny, Gunnar Nelson is off totally, as is Hebus and Ricci. This fight, I believe, was rescheduled for a main or co-main coming up, I think. And Ikram Aliskerov is out. That's why Bruno Ferrer gets a Jackson McVey smash spot. We'll talk about that. But the quick story on McVey is he, I believe, took a fight on short notice to get his contract. I believe his opponent still couldn't make weight or got scratched anyway for medicals, and they just slide him in here for short notice. It's weird. He's getting a shot here. So we'll get there. We'll start at the first fight of the night. Carly Judice and Nicole Cagliari. Judice is minus 335. Comeback on Cagliari is plus 275. Your fight goes to decision prop is minus 215. Your DraftKings salaries for this one, $9,100 for Judice. Cagliari is $7,100. There are plenty of banger fights and spots to get plenty of exposure on this card, but especially with 14 fights, it helps when you can start Xing out some fighters. We'll have plenty of X outs, and one of those spots off the rip where I'm picking Carly Judice. There's no fucking way I'm playing her on DraftKings. She will be getting the X button. She's going to try and stand up. Cagliari is going to shoot for takedowns. I don't think Cagliari gets them in this spot. I think Judice will stop the takedowns, piece her up on the feet. Unlikely she gets a finish as by way of the odds here. kind of not going to overcomplicate it. Judice is the pick. Not going to play her. Cagliari, I don't think she wins. If she does, the price is probably takedowns. If this is a card where we were short or there weren't dogs I do like coming up, I would say go ahead and mix her in. I'll tell her you can mix her in, but she's like a secondary, even tertiary option kind of at best here. So Judice is the pick, but not a high DFS exposure fight to get us started. Geek, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, these girls are terrible. Inexperienced. They're it's going to be a clusterfuck fight. And actually, there is a version of it playing out where either one of them can score well. I don't like the price. I get what you're saying, though. Judice at 9,100. She's flying very close to the zone of all these other studs. But I do think there's a world where Judice just absolutely wins this fight and smashes her, Cagliari, because Cagliari is so inexperienced. But at the same time, Cagliari, she's got takedowns. She does things. And Judice, nothing special either. So basically, in a barn burner, I'm really only interested in the underdog. Like Cagliari here is interesting because she does some stuff that scores well. And I don't know that Judice is good. You say Judice is going to smash her? Who the fuck is Judice smashed? She's nobody. She's nothing. She's never had a fight against anybody that you've ever heard of. And so you have no idea if she's actually she's never won a fight against anybody that you've heard of. And I'm not even talking about like that you've heard of that's good. I'm talking about that you've heard of at all. Both of these women, like the big win for Carly Judice came against Unice Dubin, who basically never had fought in the UFC. It's garbage wins. So you have no idea what's coming here. And for that reason, you got to go with the underdog at 7K who has takedowns as the only DraftKings thing of interest here. Yeah, so I'll play. I think if Carly wins, she could score well. She could,
but I this fight that stands also to me gets hurt with 14 fights in the card. We get extra fights than usual. I gotta trim some fat somewhere.
Yeah, no, I meant Cagliari actually. I said Carly. Yeah. Cagliari's the one.
I mix her in a little bit, sure.
Yeah, I think it's worth playing a little bit because she has the takedowns. She has submissions. And I don't know that Carly Judice can stop a submission. This girl's won by armbar, rear naked choke, armbar. All of her wins are by submission. Okay. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want in your underdog female fighter.
All right, let's go on to the next fight. Before we do that, I got to throw a couple of these comments out. Joseph, glad to see you back. Give Best Ball a break. Nah, if you don't know, Geek's going to do a daily Best Ball video. Make sure you follow him. Sign up on subscribe to DFS Army YouTube.
Draftapalooza. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every 3 times a week. We're doing 2 best ball drafts. What's that?
That it feels daily. I feel like I constantly see him.
It is a lot.
Poor this hot sauce is a bigger following than Drew does. Well played, Nan. It does. All right, second fight, one of the smash spots, and this is one of the things we have to break down in this card with all these fighters priced in the very high 9Ks, which is a theme of DraftKings the last couple months, it seems like. Where do you go? This is the most expensive fighter on the card, Bruno Ferrer. He's minus 650. The comeback on the aforementioned Jackson McVey is plus 475. Here comes some of the stupid numbers, and this is going to sound stupid, but don't get too crazy because you're going to hear similar numbers a few different times on this card. Under 1.5 rounds, minus 245. Ferrer wins inside the distance, minus 500. Just insane numbers. Inside the distance overall, minus 1,400. So, gonna see a finish, or I don't even know. Should see a finish.
Tough spot for McVey, who didn't even win a Contender Series fight, to make his debut at short notice against this animal, Bruno.
And he'll cost you 6,500. Bruno is 9,700, the most expensive fighter on the card. Look, I don't think we should overanalyze this one. Yeah. Bruno's a monster. He's going to knock out McVey. McVey, I'm going to X out of my player pool if he wins. Well, I'm not going to hit optimal, and I'll still cash plenty because he's not going to be hot. I'm not getting a ton of leverage Xing him out of my player pool, but I can't play him. Even in 150, I can't play him or Adam Fugat, who we're going to talk about in a little bit. Both those guys are getting the big ol' X button. I will make a case for Michael Johnson later, but
you probably, I'm not saying definitely, but you probably can't afford to play both of these studs. I don't think you can. Like, I'm not seeing how that math is going to work. So, but you could probably get one of them. Well, you probably get one of them in your lineup, and now you're basically choosing between. I mean, I'm just going to spoiler alert it. It's choosing between Ferrer and whatever monster score he's going to put up with his minus 500 inside the distance line, and Dulattov. Is there a third one on this slate that has the same?
Atiba.
Yeah. So you got three of them that are all crazy high, super favorites with massive inside the distance props. Who
and
gets
because
the
of those
first
numbers, there's one guy later who's going to get, I think, going to get a little bit lost in the shuffle here. No, I'll save Vince. It's not Kevin Holland, but that's I don't want to vague book it. It's we'll talk about his fight later, but I think Jimmy Croo at 9K flat is going to get overlooked because people keep trying to, scroll up or get higher, and Jimmy Croo's sitting at 9 even against Marcin Prachnio. I'm wondering what that ownership's going to be.
Takedown, submission, 95 points.
Yeah. So, look, Bruno's Bruno. Play him wherever you can. We'll rank these guys. Bruno, Dulattov, Atiba, and I would argue 9,700 is hard to swallow. It's just I don't know if there's much else to do for it. Wherever you can play him. How about for you, Geek? Anything to add to this shit show?
No, that's exactly it. I don't even think you need to look at it this as an individual thing. You have to look at 97, 96, and 9,300, and you just look at those three price points, understanding that all three of them are projected for an over 100 point. There's no way of guessing which one can get the finish within 60 seconds, or if any of them will do something like that will like spike the score. So you just got to mix these guys in. But yes, I think Ferrer is going to come in and probably do exactly what he's supposed to do, which is get a finish probably in the first or second round.
Yep. Totally agree. All right, let's move on. Let's talk Ryan Superman Span Lucas Brzeski.
Do you hate Ryan Span as much as I do? Just real quick. I don't know why.
I'm about to shit all over him.
You're a hater too.
I'm about to shit on a minus 210 favorite against plus 180 Lucas Brzeski. Fight ends in the distance, minus 800. Well, now we got to start paying attention for DraftKings as well. Finish my intro here before we talk about why we both hate Ryan Span. Ryan Span, by the way, is 8,700. Brzeski is 7,500. Look, I'm going to take Lucas Brzeski, and this is a fight I want a ton of exposure to because of that ITD number, because Lucas, and people are going to say, we should pull it up. So Lucas Brzeski here, I'm picking a guy who is 1-5 in his last 6, 1-5 in the UFC. The win over Walter Walker is aging pretty well. Here's the thing: Ryan Span looked like hot fucking garbage at heavyweight. He looked like he hadn't trained. He put on fat with no muscle. This is his second heavyweight fight, and he looked awful against. Now, Waldo Cortez Acosta is very good, but Ryan Span looked bad by any stretch of the imagination. Like, he could not keep up. And that's the one thing I think Brzeski can do in this spot is volume. He's gone 3 rounds as a heavyweight plenty of times. I think he can pressure Span. Span better show up in shape. I'm going to look to see what he looks like on weigh-ins on Friday. Maybe he looks a little bit better as a heavyweight, a little bit leaner. But if he looks like he did last time out, I'm going to have much more Lucas Brzeski. And even still, this number, what I know about Span anyway, it's only going to be a sliding scale higher. I'm going to be overweight to Brzeski regardless how Span looks. I just might bump up my Span exposure if he looks like he's taking heavyweight seriously. First dog pick of the card, give me Lucas Brzeski. Ryan Span should not be fighting at heavyweight. Geek, how about for you?
Realistically, I don't really want Lucas Brzeski either. In terms of, he sucks too. But Ryan Span, the idea that he should ever be minus 210 against anybody is crazy. Yep. This guy he loses. Losing is contagious. You start losing, it keeps happening. And he loses a lot. Like, he loses most of the time. Weird wins in there, and now he went to heavyweight. Why would you do that? Are you averse to training? What is going on there? I don't like it. Nothing about it makes me feel good. At the same time, Luka kind of sucks. Like, he's got some brutal losses. So
heavyweight sucks in general. Heavyweight's rough.
Forget the Walter Walker win, by the way. I don't know what the hell's going on there. That's one of those, like, anybody can win anytime, any day. I don't know what the hell that was about. But this guy loses a lot. So, and he gets knocked out frequently. That being said, yeah, so there's no evidence that he should be able to win any kind of a fight like this. But Ryan Spann finds a way to lose also. So with two guys who are fighting, number one, you know what I was thinking, Snipe? I think you got. I think the bet, if you wanted to bet this one, I'd be looking to bet the over 1.5 rounds. I think that would be the bet. I'll take my shot at those odds.
Plus 145. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'll take my shot at those odds. Right, everybody thinks it's going to be a fast finish. So I do think you're on the right side. You take the Wookie, Brewski. Oh, he calls himself a bull. All right, forget the Wookie. It's a different Luka. Brekkis, I think is the better bet if you're going to bet it. And if I was picking this on DraftKings, yeah, I love the inside the distance prop. I think you do play a little bit of both of them because Spann is kind of not that expensive. But in general, fuck that guy, man. He's just finds a way to lose. And man, the fat now thing, I mean, why would you go from light heavyweight up in weight class unless you just he was not a big. It's
a sign of desperation. It's bad.
Yeah, it's a bad sign. It's not a good. Who's that other dude? Jeremy Collier. Remember that guy?
Oh no. Jake Collier.
Jake Collier. Yeah.
The middleweight to heavyweight.
Yeah, when he just came back fat. Like, dude, you just stop wanting to exercise? Is that what happened? What are you doing?
Yeah, that wasn't. But he gave us the Chris Barnett win. So I think we are on the same side here. Get into chat real quick. Scott Harris, any dogs you like? We just gave one. I think overall I picked 4 underdogs, so 3 more, at least 3 more still to come. From me,
I like a big underdog.
Yeah, I got to go one coming as well.
Breakdown coming up very late in the break.
Spann typically can't throw more than Spann's gonna gas.
I'd like that, a prop for a 3-punch combo. Yeah.
Yeah. And I gotta give a shout out to my boy Ashley over in the UK watching.
There's a little button on the side of StreamYard. There's a little button in the top right where you can show the live stream comments on stream.
I know, and I'm nervous because there was one in there that probably shouldn't. I guess I can just exit out as they come. I'll try and roll with you guys live. I'll try and trust some of you. I'll try and trust some of you maniacs.
Yeah, no slurs.
All right. Oh God. All right, let's go ahead. Let's zoom back out and let's talk. We foreshadowed the next few already. We're gonna live up in this 9K range for a little bit here in the prelims. Jimmy the Brute Croo, Marcin Prachnio. Croo is -300. Prachnio is +250. Fight ends inside the distance, a -190 number here. Jimmy Croo, as I mentioned earlier, is 9,000. That makes Prachnio 7,200. I do think Croo's going to get a little bit lost here in the shuffle. Everybody trying to slam in the higher 9K fighters. By the way, now that I'm looking around, Geek, I think we're on the same side of one of the upset. I hope we are. I've always been super sus on Marcin Prachnio, and I think Jimmy Croo pretty much beats him everywhere. The one concern you have to have about Jimmy Croo is the chin. The chin is it's a Jimmy Croo chin. He can get popped at any time. That's why now he's 0 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses in his last 5. But again, it's Jamal Hill. This Anthony Smith one, that is when he threw the leg kick and perennial nerve when he couldn't stand up. The Menafield twice. Regardless, whether you think these wins are good, bad, and different, they're better than anything Marcin Prachnio is because he's losing to Modestas Bukauskas. He's losing to Felipe Lins. He beat William Knight, who threw 8 strikes in 15 minutes, and Devin Clark, who if you could stop takedowns, you're going to beat. It's just sus. It just is sus at this point. I think Croo's the way to go. I think he can take him down. I think Croo's better everywhere. The only way I see Croo losing the fight is some kind of fluky knockout. So I'll be over on Croo. I can't full fade Pragnio because of that Croo chin, but I am likely underweight. Give me Croo just all around better everywhere at a reasonable price on this card.
Yeah, I was looking for reasons to want to like Pragnio. I was like trying to force some of that, right? And in the end of the day, Croo's going to go for takedowns, and Pragnio cannot stop a takedown. The guy has a 53% takedown defense on his career. Croo is going for 4 takedowns per 15, and Pragnio has multiple losses by submission. So what I expect to happen is that happens again. Fighters that lose by submission continue to lose by submission. They tend to not stop doing that. So that's what I expect to happen here. Croo will win this fight by submission off of a takedown. The question is how quickly can he get it done? Because he has the potential to be one of the highest scorers on the slate. I don't like Jimmy Croo at all, by the way. Let me be very clear on that. Like, that guy is not anybody to build any kind of confidence in. You can be knocked out. If you could stop his takedown, he's got nothing for you. And by the way, the path to Pragnio winning this fight, as crazy as it sounds, is if he somehow can stop the takedown. Like, all of a sudden, he's able to do it. I think if he stops the takedown, Croo will get chinned. But I don't think he's going to stop it.
Agreed. Totally agreed. All right, let's move on.
Could you imagine, though, picture if he just was, like, able to stop takedowns all of a sudden?
Even then, Pragnio's so bad, I don't like, then Croo still wins unless he gets chin checked.
He's going to get chin checked.
Could do, yeah. All right, let's talk about a fighter I already alluded to. I'm not going to be playing any of. Adam Fugat against Islam Dulattov. Fugat's plus 425. Dulattov is a minus 600 favorite. Some more of those crazy numbers. Inside the distance number for the fight, minus 700. Dulattov wins ITD, minus 375. Under 1.5 rounds, minus 195. I could go on and on, but I'm going to have to do this again with Atiba coming up in a little bit. Your DraftKings salaries. Dulattov is 9,600. Fugat is 6,600. I think that Dulattov, of all of them, is, and watch, he'll be the one who gets upset somehow, but to me, this is the core play in terms of he's got the best floor ceiling combo. Atiba and Bruno probably have better ceilings. I would be less shocked if they lost than Dulattov, because those are big guys. They're going to be throwing big leather. Like, Dulattov is just, I don't see how Fugat gets this done. Dulatov's a better striker, better wrestler. Like, this one would surprise me. So Dulattov is my core play up in this 9K range. I'll be interested to look at the DFS Army ownership, which, by the way, I think is one of our best tools. It's probably where I'm weakest, and give it all to everyone. So make sure you sign up at DFS Army, get in there, and I'm going to be utilizing our ownership for this one. Make sure I'm over on Dulattov, because I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure where the 9K ownership is going to shake out this week. I do know I want to be over on Dulattov for sure, and the X button on Fugat. Geek, how about for you?
My guess will be that it's going to be pretty even across this trio. So I don't see one that stands out more than another. You're right. Dulatov's an animal. The only thing Fugat has going for him is that, I don't know, he's won in the UFC before, and Dulattov hasn't. That's it. That's the only thing. Dulattov is a beast. He does everything. His stats are crazy. Takedowns, insane. Volume. So far in his career, he's done everything he wants.
You know what's funny? The most impressive thing on Fugat's resume, because I don't think the Kinoshita win is that impressive, is getting into the third round against Michael Morales, who's a goddamn animal. That may be the biggest star on his resume. It's not great.
He survived it. But you know what's not good on his resume? 50% career takedown defense.
Yep.
Against a maniac named Islam. His name is Islam. Is that the kind of name of a person that you want to go up against when you have 50% career takedown defense, Sniper?
Now, this fight was 2.5 minutes long, and he That was a lot of ground strikes, but he threw 79 strikes and landed 46. This was a 2.5-minute round fight. What the fuck? That's a lot.
That is a weird fight. Where is that? Where did that take place?
This was Contender Series.
Okay. Why were the rounds 2.5 minutes?
No. He won by knockout.
Oh, okay.
This fight only lasted 2.5 minutes, and he still managed to throw 80 strikes.
No. I'm telling you, the volume is insane. He grades out at 14 strikes per minute. That is not a normal number. No one can keep that up. I've never seen that number. That only exists because of a short fight. Yeah, but that's what we were going to expect to see. Dulattov come out like a lunatic, throwing crazy volume, jumping in for the takedown. Bam, just like that. And Fugat can't really stop a takedown, so I don't really see what's his path to victory? Somehow he gets takedowns? I mean, turns out
Dulattov gasses out, I guess?
Could be a game. That's really what.
Contender Series UFC debut adrenaline dump?
There's your why it's not minus 3,000.
Right.
Remember Marina Agapova versus Shauna Dobson?
Agapova on her. Bullshit in front of me.
I learned not to throw the minus 1,200 into my safe parlay anymore.
Well, we all got to learn. We all learned the lesson. I think we all learned that lesson at some point.
Taking my parlay from plus 320 to plus 329 wasn't worth that pay.
All right, let's go. Atiba Gautier and Robert Valentin. Atiba is minus 550. Valentin is plus 400. Fight ends at the distance minus 1,000. Under 1.5 rounds minus 135. Atiba ITD minus 450. Whoo boy, and Robert Valentin, he is not good, but you only have to pay $6,800 for him. Atiba is going to cost you $9,400. Atiba, I think, is a legit prospect. He is a little bit raw, but the UFC are doing a fantastic job in trying to build a star. Like Contender Series fight, he fought Jose Daniel Medina in his first fight. Robert Valentin is perfect, a perfect opponent for him. Valentin is not going to go for a takedown. He gets taken down. He's going to typically look to stand and trade. And here, I just think he is massively outgunned. Unless Gautier or Atiba gets really sloppy, I don't see how Valentin pulls this off. This is one of... I'm just going to X him out. If you would tell me Atiba's too green, you want to mix in a little bit of Valentin, I don't know if I'd call you insane, but I'm going to pick other spots. There's other dogs I like. This is not it. I think Valentin gets his walk-in papers and is in Octagon or one of those, or KSW next time out. I think kind of that's where he belongs. I don't think he's quite UFC caliber. I watched him on Tough, and nice enough guy, but I don't think this is for him, and UFC is building Atiba. So that is my spot here. Geek, how about for you?
Again, really, what are we talking about? We're comparing these super stud, massive inside the distance favorites to one another and thinking about what kind of scores they can achieve. Because, he's probably going to win, right? So the difference between this guy and some of the other expensive studs, Atiba is probably not going to come in Islam style and just go for crazy takedowns the whole time and do a lot of grappling. He's coming in. His name is Atiba. Again, you can tell by the name. Atiba's here to throw fist. He's not here to fuck around. Okay? Wherever the hell he comes from, it's a place where you throw some fist and you're badass. Because so he's not going for takedowns, not doing any of that stuff. So probably get a finish, but how quickly? And what if he doesn't get the finish? Then the score, with somebody like I can't remember his name right now, but who was it right before? With somebody like Islam, that guy's coming in. He's putting up numbers the whole time. He's throwing insane volume. He's going for takedowns. He's doing all the shit. Whereas Atiba is coming in to throw a bomb and knock you out. So a little bit of different situation. I think it's a safer pick to go with Dulattov personally, even though Gautier is probably, both have I would say Fugat is a better opponent than Valentin for whatever that's worth.
Yep. I'm just replying to a comment here because, again, I had to take it up because it was right over your face, but we're talking about mac and cheese in the in the YouTube chat. So it's off the rails there.
Using penne for mac and cheese?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know, man. We are. I mean, Tattoo, if you're going to talk about smoking pork and mac and cheese, like, I will, up in Discord, I'm going to send you my address. I expect a Tupperware full of food.
You got to go out to Virginia to Tattoo's place. He's smoking up a brisket once a week out there.
Yeah. I mean, I assume the invite's always open. I should make my way anywhere into the Midwest.
If I'm ever down in Virginia, I'm heading over there.
All right, we got some more competitive fights finally to talk about. Francisco Prado, Nikolai Veritenov. Prado's minus 145. Veritenov is plus 125. Fight goes to decision, though, minus 150. Your DraftKings salaries for this one. This is near the mid-range. Prado's 8,300. Veritenov is 7,900. While it's more competitive, guys, it's kind of dog shit versus cat shit. 1-3 in the UFC versus 0-3 in the UFC. Two guys who are going to strike, and minus 150 to go to decision. I'm going to take Prado because eye test, I think he's better. Veritenov, I think, has looked worse. Prado's had his moments. He does have the one win. I think overall, just he passes the eye test. I think he's a little athletic. I think he's a little cleaner. He's a little better everywhere. I can't give you much more confidence in that. I'm going to break it down straight. I will say this is a high. Not only is this a high variance fight, it's a high variance fight in a couple different ways in terms of who's going to win and how they're going to win. Like any outcome here, nothing surprises me. Either guy finish, either guy by decision. Most likely, I think Prado has a little bit of upside of making the full pick. Prado by KO, TKO, it's probably my pick for the fight because, again, athletic better, has a little bit of power. I think Veritenov is pretty bad. But if Veritenov starches him, I'm going to be 0% surprised. I have stronger takes in the card, high variance all around. But again, to wrap it up, I will likely be over on Prado and under on Veritenov for my official pick. And do not go near this fucking thing in cash games. Stay far away. Geek, how about for you?
It's amazing. If, Francisco Prado, if he went for takedowns, he might actually surprise and put up a nice number here. Nikolai has not shown any takedown defense. So that would be this interesting angle. Prado doesn't normally go for takedowns, but man, if he did, that would work out pretty well. I like the Prado side.
Down Jake Matthews, by the way, who looks fantastic, who is looking like a real animal.
Jake Matthews looks good. And I said, I think Prado for the price, 8,300, I actually really like it. You're getting a minus 145 favorite there. He does have, like I said, there is a path there. There's an open. Remember when Holly Holm had never gone for a takedown, and then she went up against
Megan Anderson.
Megan, yes, the giant Australian, and she just all of a sudden was like a takedown beast, and you're like, oh wow, she knew how to do that. She just never bothered to because she wanted to do this other thing. Man, if Prado has takedowns in his arsenal, he probably does. He'd have a takedown against Jake Matthews, by the way, which is not a bad loss. Jake Matthews, okay. Zell Huber, all right. Malarkey, his losses are not that bad. So, yeah, definitely give me Prado here over Veritenov. And I think he's got that takedown path, even if we haven't seen too much of that in the UFC so far.
Okay, let's move on to misclick. Let's move on to Marvin Vtori and Brendan All-In Allen. Vtori is plus 175. Allen is minus 205. Fight goes to decision minus 270. Should set off some alarm bells there, except the favorite wants to grapple, and then the underdog is the underdog. So not losing too much DFS exposure on that number. Allen is 8,800. Vtori is 7,400. I do think while the last fight I said is super variant, this one is really straightforward. Either Allen gets takedowns and smashes Vtori, or Vtori stops at takedowns and smashes Allen. I think it's really one way. It's going to be one way traffic, one way or the other. I like Brendan Allen. I think he can stop the takedowns. Marvin Vtori, if you want to look at the numbers here, since Monk is not here, he's got 69% takedown defense, but He got outstruck by Roman Dolidze. Jared Cannonier took him down 4 times, which is the big red flag here. I think that Brendan Allen is going to be able to get takedowns. We know how good Allen is on the mat, world class down there. I think he controls him. I think he puts up a pretty big score. Definitely the highest level fight we've talked about. I'll run back a little bit of Vtori in my 150, but not much. Again, we've already picked a couple dogs straight. I got a couple more coming. He's a secondary DraftKings dog for me, and Allen is kind of that similar to Croo. Could be sneaky and get lost, but I'll probably have more Croo than I will Allen, just the ITD number. And typically, it's something I like to point out in these pay-per-view cards. As the name value of both sides gets better, the level of fight goes up, the closer the fights are, and a lot of times, overall, the lower the scores get in these type of 3-round fights. When 2 really high-level top 10 guys only have 3 rounds to work, there's actually not a ton of scoring typically. So I like Allen here, but it's not a fight I'm going crazy to get into my lineups. Geek?
Yeah, I definitely don't like the minus 270 fight goes the distance prop on this one. I don't really see how this fight scores all that well. So right off the bat, I'm not super high on Brendan Allen. I don't know that Brendan Allen is going to have such an easy. I can't believe that. I legitimately can't believe Brendan Allen is minus 205. Like this,
it's a little wide.
I'm shocked by it. I was expecting Vtori maybe to be minus 120. So I clearly very shocked at the line. To me, if you're betting this, it's literally Vtori or bust. But Vittori's not a great takedown defense guy, but he's not some scrub on the ground either. He's not one of these people that's easily controlled at all. He has takedown defense. I've seen him. And Brendan Allen is not one of those takedown artists that's as relentless that somebody you feel like will get past a great takedown defense. So I don't know. There's a lot going on with this fight that has me sort of not wanting to play Brendan Allen. And the minus 280 goes 270 goes the distance. That just does it in at 8,800. I'd rather find that extra money and spend it on those other studs, right?
Yep.
Vtori, on the other hand, sure, why not? Brendan Allen, he'd get chinned. Vittori's tough dude. He doesn't score well, but at his price point, I think I'd rather be on the side of Vtori for this DraftKings card and for betting. To me, if I'm betting this, I'd bet Vtori. Minus 280 inside the distance just does not hold a lot of value on DraftKings for scoring at all.
All right, let's move on to Kyler Phillips, Vinicius D. Olivera. Olivera minus 150-ish. Comeback on Phillips about plus 130. Fight goes to decision minus 160. I'm a little surprised by that number, quite honestly. I'm eyeing this finish prop at plus 130. Your DraftKings salaries here. Vinicius Olivera is 8,500. Kyler Phillips is 7,700. This is the fight that's on the prelims. I mean, it is. Is it the feature prelim? Yeah, it's the feature prelim for a reason. One of the fights I am looking forward to the most on this entire card should be fireworks. Vinicius Olivera has come into the UFC on an absolute tear with, I think it's... Oh, he didn't finish Ricky Simone, but he beat Said Nurmagomedov, getting 3 takedowns. The wild fight against Bernardo Sopai, who looks pretty good himself. He's just in fun banger of fights. Him and Kyler Phillips are similar in that they're both high-volume guys, typically, who can mix it up. Explosive striking and can grapple. You're a little surprised by the last number. I'm surprised Kyler Phillips is a dog here. I get Vinicius is hot. I get he beat Said Nurmagomedov. Has the big name value of flyweight. Let's not. The only people that
Henry Simone, that's a very impressive win.
Yeah, it is. It is. But again, you also have Kyler, who beat Song Yudong, beat Barcelos, beat Munhoz, lost to Rob Font, and this Paiva fight was. This was a bad decision. This was. That
was bullshit.
Not good. So he is
somebody really that was such a bad decision. It was probably paid for.
Yeah. So it was overall. Both these guys are going to get after throwdown. Both can get strikeouts. I think that Phillips has got better cardio and can pressure Olivera and wear him down. That's kind of how I see this fight going. Vinicius could land something big and get a finish, I suppose, but no one's finished Kyler Phillips. I think Phillips is a little more polished, a little more high-level experience. Like him at the dog price here. This is a good fight on DraftKings to get both sides of a Paiva. Stuck in my head. An Olivera win is not going to sink me by any means, but I'm going to make a point to get over on the dog in Kyler Phillips. Asked about underdog picks earlier. Kyler Phillips is on my list of dogs to play. I think he's getting a little undervalued in this spot. Geek?
I think these guys are both really good. So,
great fight. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really good fight. Like both of these fights, it's hard to knock either guy. Like Kyler Phillips is one of those guys who are like, oh yeah, he's up and coming, he's looking well. Tough loss to Rob Font. Rob Font, who had been on a losing streak, so like looks even worse for him. But
yeah,
Rob Font's not bad. And then Vinicius, that dude hasn't lost. So like we don't know what it looks like for him to lose, and he's beaten everybody they put in front of him. I'm fine with the odds. Okay, Kyler coming off the tough loss. Vinicius hasn't not, but definitely Kyler Phillips has some real impressive wins that Olivera maybe doesn't quite have necessarily just yet. So both guys really good. I don't think the scoring is going to be spectacular, but they're both priced really well. I'm leaning with Vinicius to keep it going, but I would probably argue that Phillips at 7,700 as an underdog, it's probably the better DraftKings situation. We need that money to pay up for those studs, and I don't see this one being any kind of high scoring fight at all.
I think both guys are high enough volume. We're going to get a pretty good look here for points.
Will they land takedown? And both guys will go for takedown. They're well rounded and they'll go for takedowns. But if they don't land any, I don't know. I don't know that you're going to get enough in a decision, enough striking volume to get there.
Could be right. Could be true. Let's move on. I'm going to make this is the super pay-ups and super punch, the one I'm going to make a case for the punt. While I'm not going to pick Michael Johnson, I do think this number is a bit wide at plus 425 against Daniel Zellhuber, who is minus 600. Fight ends at a distance is minus 150. For this one, your DraftKings salaries, as I mentioned, Zellhuber's 9,500. Michael Johnson is 6,700. When I play anybody in the sixes, it's going to be Michael Johnson. I'm a little surprised that the inside the distance is minus 150. I think overall I'm just going to be underweight to this fight because I don't want a ton of Zellhuber. When he's got Dulattov, Ferrer, Atiba. Call me crazy. I'd rather play Kevin Holland, who we haven't talked to yet. Like, he's just at the bottom of my list. He's going to look to strike and needs a finish. And I understand Michael Johnson is 52 years old, and that's coming from somebody who, God, is Michael Johnson? I said this last week, Geek. No, he's younger. Fighters at this point who are older than me are a giant red flag. I was born in '85, so
your age,
yeah, it's a big red flag at this point. And Johnson's close, but he's won 3 of his last 4. The loss was to Diego Ferreira. Darius Flowers, okay. Atman Azaitar,
though. He's an impressive win. Marty Case is a good win.
Yep, back in 2022. And Zellhuber's 4-2. Ribovich has looked. This was fight of the night in the Sphere. Was phenomenal fight. So really good. He needs the finish, and I don't see it materializing quickly against Johnson. And if they're going to stand and trade the way the judges are these days, anything can happen. I think Zellhuber probably wins. Younger, cleaner, slicker, more athletic, younger. As I said like 3 times already. Michael Johnson has got the vet experience, really good striker, live at 6,700. That's as much as I can really say about it. Zellhuber's probably getting the X just because of the price, and I'll mix in some Johnson because, hey, for 6,700, he's my best sub 7K option. How about for you, Geek?
Yeah, I don't think you need to play Zellhuber. The only version of Zellhuber winning this fight that outscores all these other insane pay-up options on the slate is a flash knockout in the first 60 seconds. That's it. So if you want to play for the flash, this fight is plus 120 to go the distance, meaning they're not even expecting a finish here. Zellhuber does not go for takedowns, does not do any of that. So there's no wrestling. Can't be wrestled either. Neither one of these guys are getting taken down. Really, it's just a question of like Michael Johnson's chin. Can he hang around for a little bit? I even think Michael Johnson can win. So I will say Johnson or bust for DraftKings purposes, and probably for betting too. I don't think I'm going to bet it, but like if I had to bet a side, I would definitely take the plus 450 and, you know, hope for the best rather than laying minus 600 on a guy who, I don't know, 3 minutes of striking. It's going to be in the judge's hands. You know, decisions happen. Who knows? We've seen crazier decisions.
Absolutely. But I flashed it before. I got to flash it again. Tattoo talking about if women's older than at the giant red flag. Got to go for the older women tattoo. They know what they want. And
no, you don't want an older woman.
51. You don't look a day over 48.
Wait, what are we? How do we get into that conversation? But
I was fighters older than me being a red flag.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, older women would be a red flag.
He's sitting there smoking.
I think when you were 21, and if you were into the older woman, that's kind of cool. But now, not so much.
I mean, I'm still 39 for now. Another few months at 39. Wife is 40. I better not get this shit wrong. 42. 42.
Some hot J-Lo 57-year-old smoke show.
And then take a nap afterwards. Getting them old, man. All right.
I was just J-Lo as the example because for I don't know how old she is, but smoking hot even now, and I don't know, she's from like the 80s.
See, that's where you got to go, Jennifer Aniston.
Still looks the same, yeah, but no, J-Lo better looking. J-Lo better than Jennifer Aniston, yes.
I'm gonna not get myself canceled here, and we're gonna talk about Dan Ige and Patricio Ferrer. Ige's minus 220. Patricio plus 185. Patricio Pitbull. Fight goes to decision is minus 250. So expected 3 rounds of action here. Your DraftKings salaries for this one: Ige's 8,600. Ferrer is 7,600. 8,600. Ige's just Ige's going to want to strike, and minus 250 to go to decision. Even if you think Ige wins, which by the way, hint hint, I'm about to pick another underdog here. I think he's a hard up play on DraftKings. I think this is a much better fight for the former Bellator champion coming to the UFC than Yair Rodriguez. I think Patricio could potentially get takedowns on Dan Ige. I think if he tries to stay kicking range, he's going to have way more success than trying to stay kicking range against Yair. Patricio's going to want to look for takedowns, but I think he's not totally outmatched on the feet as long as he can stay out of boxing range. If you're in boxing range with Dan Ige, then Ige's going to fuck him up, and I'm going to look real bad here. But I think Ferrer's got multiple paths to victory and the better price. He is definitely my preferred DFS target. I will say at those numbers, though, and what I mentioned earlier about 2 high-level guys, not a fight I'm trying to get a ton of in my lineups overall. This is where we kind of looked at earlier, like if you're comparing this fight to like Olivera Phillips, I want Olivera Phillips instead of this one. Just I think there's more there.
There's name brand recognition here that the other one doesn't have.
Right. So and I think people are going to fall into that. I'd rather that other fight. So give me Patricio to pull an upset here is also live. He's a fine cash game play, 7,600 live dog, minus 250 to go to decision. Probably one of those guys you should strongly consider in cash games after your stack, that is. Hint, hint. How about for you, Geek?
Just a side note that these Bellator hype guys come into the UFC and they never live up to that. They never do.
No.
I feel like Michael Chandler.
There's a reason Corey Anderson leaves and,
yeah,
and has a lot of success.
Yeah. They never live up to that. With that being said, Danny Ige, this is probably going to be a decision. It's going to be low scoring. So my read on the fight is low scoring decision, no takedowns, not that much volume. Neither one of these guys is a 4 strikes per minute lander. They throw big bombs, but neither guy has any sort of history of tossing up massive volume or doing anything that really scores well. If Patricia was an aggressive grappler, I think that would work better against Ige and give him a better shot. If he uses some of that grappling, I think he's got a shot. Either way, I like the Pitbull side. I agree with you. I don't really want to pay up for this fight. So this is not a fight. This isn't one of the spots where I want to spend my salary. I'm trying to get to those fast finishers, and I don't really see that happening here. Not Ige, not on Patricio from Ige. He's not much of a finisher. The odds don't like the finish. I think you're on the right side. I think you go Pitbull as the only sort of like bettable spot too, though again, not betting it, but probably a decision. And it comes down to the judges, and who knows? And maybe Pitbull gets a takedown in there or two.
Judging be crazy. All right, let's talk about Vince's favorite fighter, Kevin Holland. I don't know how you don't like Kevin Holland. I love Kevin Holland. And
he got
Kevin
burned
Holland
a couple times, and that was it.
Say again?
Vince got burned a couple times by Holland, fucking around, just joking around, being stupid, and he's like, fuck that guy. I'm done.
Taking on, got a fantastic matchup here against Daniel Rodriguez. Looks like Holland's minus 460, D-Rod is plus 360. Fight ends at the distance, minus 190. Little intrigued by that number. It's a little bit higher than I thought it would be. Not crazy off, but I thought it'd be closer to 50-50, honestly. Maybe minus 140. Regardless, I think a little bit Vegas kind of nudging me that direction. In terms of DraftKings salaries, Kevin Holland is $9,300, a little bit pricey. Daniel Rodriguez is $6,900. So while it's a rough price for Holland to pay off, I think this is a fantastic matchup. D-Rod's not going to be shooting takedowns. Holland could probably get takedowns if he wants him. He's back at the weight class he should be at 170, where he's a fucking giant. He's on a bit of a roll here. He's got good striking. The kick range is going to be real difficult for D-Rod to deal with. I mean, Holland has some underrated, nasty body kicks. D-Rod tries to crash it and close the distance. You know all the front choke arsenal that Holland has. You know the volume. I struggle to see how D-Rod gets this done unless he's able to successfully close the distance, crash in, and like dirty box and maybe a little bit of clinch control. But I think Holland's dangerous there. Like I struggle to see it. Holland's losses, by the way, just look at the last. I mean, he's 3-4 in his last 7. 175, the 170-pound champ, right? Michael Page.
That's a tough loss.
That's a tough loss. Dolize, who's an animal right now, and Rainier de Ritter, who, by the way, wrong weight class, and de Ritter looks real good. It's about the Bellator guys failing. The one championship guys occasionally seem to get things right. Rainier de Ritter looks really good. And then, smashes Gunny, smashes Luque. He's on the right track here. I think Holland's about to make a run at 170, and I think this is a good stepping stone for him. The UFC needs stars, especially in that 170-pound weight class. They need a challenger for Jack Della Maddalena. I think it's going to take a couple of fights, but Kevin Holland's in the mix. I think this is good matchmaking, good spot, good price. Give me Kevin Holland. Any reason you're going to want to play Daniel Rodriguez?
Yeah. I don't think he wins, so it's tough. I don't really like Holland's chances of scoring well.
Yeah, I do. I do rank him below even with price considered, the Dulattov, the Ferrer, the Atiba. He is below those guys. Yes.
Yeah. So, on the Holland side, he's kind of like those guys, but not as good. I don't think D-Rod is as vulnerable to getting knocked out as the opponents of all those other guys are. And I think D-Rod makes it a fight. I really do. I think he can stand in there and throw fist with Holland. Holland's probably going to be a little better, and he'll be winning those exchanges. And I think in the end, he'll win a decision. So, but I think we'll get a lot of striking. I'm a little surprised at how wide the number is. Minus 460 is really high. But, the over 1.5 round prop, minus 170. So 2-to-1-ish that we'll get to round 3 or something close to that. If this goes to round 3, the score is not going to be high enough to matter, most likely. So for me, I'll have less Holland than the other fighters in this range. But I think he wins. And I'll still have more of him than like that female fighter from the beginning of the card. Whose name?
We got more underdogs coming, guys. Before we keep going, though, smash the like button, share with your friends. Sign up at DFS Army. See you in the Discord before we get to the co-main event.
Big underdog pick coming up, guys. Big dog.
I got back-to-back dogs technically, so I'm with you here. Paulo Costa, Roman Copilov. Copilov's minus 230, but Costa is plus 195. Fight goes to decision is minus 160. It's immediate red flag for a striker and Copilov anyway at big favorite odds on DFS, which, by the way, that salary, he's going to run you approximately, can't find it. There it is. Copilov will run you exactly 8,900. Come back on Costa, I think, is a great price at 7,300. Again, even if you're going to pick Copilov, Costa is the only one with any DFS upside here. And Copilov has been more active. You know, beat Chris Curtis. This was a fun fight. Beat Cesar Almeida in split decision but he went to the takedowns in this fight, which was just wild to see. He's looked good. He's looked fine. I'm not going to hold the fluffy loss as a nightmare matchup for him. Nightmare. But Costa's got volume upon volume upon volume, and he can score takedowns. You can't hold the loss to Sean Strickland, Robert Whitaker, Vtori. This was a 5-round fantastic fight, and Israel Adesanya. Like, Costa, especially if Costa's back on the juice, where he can go and go and go, as long as he shows up with the volume, Copilov's in trouble. Yeah, am I assuming a little bit? Yes, but I think Costa's going to show up motivated, and he's got the biggest skill advantage we've seen in a while. He can get takedowns here, just like he did against. I know the Luke Rockhold fight got ugly at the end, but just get takedowns. I think you would learn from that fight. You can get takedowns in this spot, and I think regardless, the volume will slow down Copilov anyway. So I like Costa pretty much all around as my biggest dog play on the card. Geek, it sounded like you agree, but anything to add there?
I do agree. I listen. Costa went to split decision with Sean Strickland. He's on this losing streak. Oh, he sucks now. Does he? He almost, super close with Strickland, who's good. Takes a loss by decision to Bobby Knuckles. Okay. Lost to Israel Adesanya. His losses are to the best of the best. So before that, this guy was in the conversation for a title shot. So, he gets to the high level. He has a win against Yoel Romero. He gets to the highest level and takes some losses. Okay, that's not where he belongs. Fine. Well, Roman Copilov hasn't shown that he belongs in the highest level either, right? The wins for Copilov, his best win is Chris Curtis, who's very much more of a gatekeeper than he is a top of the ranking stud. So this is why Copilov is minus Copilov, who only boxes, right? He's got a misleading name. Roman Copilov, not a grappler, just a boxer. Why is he minus 230, Stamper? What the hell's going on there? So yeah, I totally agree.
Mostly the streak that Costa's on. You saw it, I think, is a big issue for Costa too in this time frame, and that's gone now. So he's definitely, I'm sure he saw Ludovic Klein's doctors and in the Brazilian garden of fruits and vegetables, as they say. And Copilov is that head kick win over Chris Curtis, who Chris Curtis is, now at the right. Chris Curtis was fighting at the wrong weight class. This is up at 185, really. It's because of this little run here that he's 167, I think. And
look at those wins.
Yep.
Josh Friend, okay. Punelli Soriano, he hasn't won a fight in years. Alessio Di Chirico, of course. These are all names that he was a massive favorite in every one of those fights. Like, it was not a shock that he won those fights.
I think the Chris Curtis fight was lying pretty close. I mean, this
that one would have been close. Could have been close, but he was a big favorite against Friend and these other guys. I think he might have been an underdog against Soriano, but that was before Soriano got knocked out 5 fights in a row.
Can I go back to the old odds here? I'd just be curious. He was a plus 185 dog against Curtis. Oh no, this has got to be the other guy. This has got to be, yeah. Oh yeah, his odds are over here.
No, that's his odds. He was a massive favorite.
Yeah, his odds are over here. Big
He's
favorite
an underdog against Fluffy, and he lost. Okay, fine, right? He was a big favorite even against Chris Curtis. So
yeah, I'm with you. I'm reading that backwards. All right, let's go ahead and let's move on to the main event of the evening, the trilogy fight, the retirement fight for Dustin Poirier, Holloway, Poirier,
Worth.
Holloway. I don't get these odds. This should be flipped in my mind. I don't get it. Holloway's minus 140. Poirier is plus 120. Fight goes to
That will
decision.
flip.
Minus one,
By the way,
minus
Sniper,
135. It's going to
that
flip.
will flip by Friday. By Friday, this is going to be even odds. So if you're interested in betting this fight, my guess is bet it now.
I don't know. It looks like the odds actually we opened. No, okay. Yeah, we are moving that way. I would agree with you. I think it should be flipped. Minus 145, go to decision. By the way, if you're playing cash games, stack this fight or take my head-to-heads because this is a fight you must stack with the volume of both of these fighters. Your salaries, Holloway's 8,200, Poirier is 8,000. Mid-range fight, two guys who throw tons of volume with 5 rounds to work. I don't care if there's not takedowns. I'm playing it in damn near every lineup. Probably 85% or more. Like, I'm just going to load up here. And I am on the Poirier side. Poirier's beat him twice. Yes, first by armbar years ago. And then the other fight. Remember in that fight how much more impactful Poirier strikes were on Holloway rather than vice versa. That's not going to change. Yes, Poirier did just get knocked out by Justin Gaethje, and then he made it to the 5th round against Makhachev. I don't understand how these losses make you an underdog to Max Holloway moving up in weight class. Are we doing MMA math because Holloway beat Gaethje? Like,
yes, that's exactly why. I'll give you the main reason. I have a guess as to why he's an underdog.
I guess I just, and maybe because it's Poirier's retirement fight.
That's why.
I guess so, but I got to pick Poirier. Now, I'm going to look at ownership. I'll be at least field weight on Max. I'm not going to lose any leverage in the field on Max. I'll likely, depending on what the ownerships are going to be, I guess if Holloway's going to be over 50%, I won't get there. But I'm not going to get the field's not going to lap me because Holloway wins. I'll have a bunch of both sides. I will be slanted towards the Poirier side. Strikes will be more impactful. He's already done it twice. Think it's the send-off we're looking for here. I don't think I know why Holloway's up at 155, but I don't think he belongs here. I'm sorry, Max. I love you, Max. Please go back down to 45, especially now that Topuria is gone. Go back to 45, bruv. So give me Poirier.
Being at 45 is one of his superpowers. I love both of these fighters. They've both given us amazing wars over the years. So, awesome. Love Holloway. Love Dustin. What fights, what heart both of these guys have. It will be a joy to watch this fight. This fight makes it worth paying the pay-per-view fee for this UFC if you are so inclined to pay such fees. I suggest go to Buffalo Wild Wings and spend the $60 on wings and beer.
That sounds good, actually.
Right? Better than spending, but that's just the recommendation, right? Both these guys are awesome. Dustin could take down Holloway. That's within the realm of shit that he could do in this fight once or twice. He might do it more than that.
He's going to jump Gilly?
What's that?
I hope he jumps Gilly in the last 10 seconds just to be funny.
Yeah, just do some of that. It could happen. I think at the end of the day that Dustin is not coming in here just half-assing it because it's a retirement battle. It's in his hometown. I think he's going to give it his all. This is respect for Holloway. Holloway will respect him. Holloway's not knocking out Dustin. So my most comfortable bet here would be Dustin by decision, Dustin inside decision, inside the distance, decision, no action. But I would straight take Dustin at plus 120 right now. I think the odds are going to swip. And it's what you said before. Dustin is the bigger guy in his proper weight class. You've got Holloway moving up, less power in his striking. And I think that's the difference maker. Dustin got knocked out. When he lost, he got knocked out. I don't think that Holloway's got knockout power against someone like Dustin. I don't think he's going to be able to knock him out. And if you can't knock him out, I think Dustin probably gets some takedowns, has more control time, and lands strikes that look like they're hurting the opponent more. But yeah, 100% lock button that this fight is in every lineup I make. Every single one. And certainly I agree with you that in cash games, you absolutely should just be stacking this. But also, just in every lineup that you make, because of the price point at 8K, I don't know how this fight plays out, that one of these guys doesn't land 180 strikes and just do some shit. Like, there is a possibility here of a monster score, so you have to have both of these guys in every single one, no doubt.
There's a possibility. There's a possibility the stack ends up on the optimal. It's total possibility.
Less likely if the underdogs win on this card, but would it shock you if Max put up an 85 and he lost?
Nope, not even a little.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends, on salaries and scores. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We're not done yet. First, smash the like button. Sign up at DFS Army. Share with your friends. But we got to give you kill shots. If you don't know what a kill shot is, welcome to the show. Happy to have you here. As an under-owned GPP play, can help you take it down. It means no main event, no chalk. It can be a favorite if it's going to be somebody super sneaky, like this is not the pick. But if you're going to tell me Carly Judice is going to win you a tournament, that counts. Something you can get leverage on. Geek, you have one teed up, or you want me to fire away first here?
Yeah, fire away. I'm trying to wrap my mind, because we don't have ownerships yet, about because I have a couple kill shots in mind, but I'm not sure that it's not too highly owned. So go ahead.
So I am tossing back and forth between two, and I think I'm going to land on, because everyone's on the shit on Bellator train right now. Give me Patricio Pitbull. I think Pitbull is going to get the Pitbull brothers off the schneid here. I think it's a good spot against Danny Ige. Decent salary. I would go Pitbull, and feel free to take him. I think my honorable mention would be Kyler Phillips, who's real close.
I think it's Copilov Costa. Is that too high of a ownership?
I don't think so. I think it's fine. Could be borderline.
Yeah, I think Paolo probably going to win, going to get a win, or has a reasonable chance at a win at a cheaper price. So that's probably the way I would look. The other name I have for it is Vtori. So I like both of those underdogs to potentially win their fights. I don't see the underdogs here that look like they're going to score massive, but that doesn't really matter. We just need underdogs that win.
Exactly. All right, guys, that's what we got for UFC 318. We'll see you in the DFS Army Discord. Smash the like button. Geek, you got anything before we get out of here? It's nice to have you back, man.
Hell yeah. You know it. Draft-a-palooza. We're drafting best ball teams. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon. Underdog. DraftKings. We're just doing best ball, fantasy football talk. Every Monday, noon. It's a live stream here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. Make sure to check it out. Really having a lot of fun with that. So that's my primary thing. And, of course, look for much more fantasy football coverage. It is now mid-July, so we've got fantasy football going crazy. We're going to start, rankings are out, all that good stuff. It is
all the NFL preseason games are coming up in my ESPN feed now. Like they're there. They're like a few weeks out. Can't wait.
I'm sitting here, Sniper, thinking about that day when week 1 salaries come out. It's like August 2nd. You get a whole month and a half of seeing salaries. So I'm ready for that and start hammering out some DFS content. But for now, we're drafting best ball teams. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, having fun, drafting teams with a crew. We get a lot of people watching live. We all draft against each other and have a good time. So definitely check it out
on the DFS Army YouTube channel in case you're watching this on X or somewhere else. Get over to DFS Army on YouTube, dfsarmy.com. All the good stuff. Enjoy UFC 318. What you got? The UFC 318. Get in the Discord. Have a good time. Draft against Geek on Monday. I got to jump in Monday at lunch one day. I'm going to try and join this week and draft against you just for fun.
Yeah, we're having a good time. Don't you want to go up against the big dog?
You know what? I'm definitely. I'll be there Monday. Sign me up. I'll see you on Monday, at least in the comments while I'm eating my.
Don't tell Sniper's boss.
No, it's lunch. He's back from vacation next week, but totally, it's lunch. It's fine.
You're fine. All right, nice.
All right. Good luck in your contest, guys. See you next time. Helmets up. We'll catch you later.